Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again with another exciting episode of Felons Talk. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to talk about. Somebody asked me if I knew Tony Leisure. Yes, I know Tony. I was in Pekin with Tony, and I kind of wonder if he's still, bouncing around because he's kind of old by now. He's probably close to 80. Yeah, I think he is about 80. Anyway, him and his two brothers were like the mafia in St. Louis, but they weren't Italian. They were like, what do you call that? They were from one of those countries over there near the Mediterranean. Uh, I can't think of the name of it, but anyway, they were they looked Italian. Anyway, to make a long story short, they were like blowing things up and extorting money from people, and they were sort of like the mafia there in St. Louis. Well, they all got arrested, and his brother got death penalty in Missouri. His other brother blew himself up with a bomb, and he missed. He was missing an arm and a leg. They still tried him and gave him life, and that was for the feds. And Tony was also doing, I think, life with the feds. And I can remember, I guess, 2000, maybe 2001 or two, both of his brothers died on the same week. One of his brothers, the one that was on death row, was executed, and his other brother was in Springfield, Missouri, and his other brother had died from a heart attack. I mean, he had been in prison all those years, and he had he had missing half of his body from that explosion that he was, you know, so they both passed away on the same week. So I remember him being a little down, down, uh, downhearted about that. As you can imagine. Anyway, that's the joint I went and spent my last 5 years. It was called Pekin, Pekin, Illinois, about 30 miles from St. Louis. Had a lot of guys from St. Louis, had a lot of guys from Chicago, and the surrounding areas. Uh, when I first got there, I wanted to know, was there any homeboys, anybody from Jersey there? There was one little guy. His name was Richard Sinde, Sinde, Italian kid, and he looked out for me, brought me some coffee, you know, stuff like that. Hooked me up with, and I was appreciative of that. And turns out that Richie, little Richie, was running with the little Chicago Italian crew. Well, actually, there were two crews of Italian guys. There was one crew that was the mafia, the real mafia, okay? The hierarchy of the Chicago outfit. There was Jimmy Marcello and his cell partner, Nicky Calabrese. A couple of days ago, I did a show about the Spalatro brother murders, right? These are the guys that killed the Spalatro brothers, the ones that were made famous by the movie Casino. And anyway, they were there, and a couple of other guys, mafia guys from Chicago, and they had their own little set, and they didn't bother anybody, and nobody bothered them. They were the guys that never went to the mess hall. Everybody brought them food. They ate in their cell, and they had a great life. They did good. They did good time with each other, and then the other crew where little Richie was at, they were just like, you know guys from Chicago who were like drug dealers, Italian guys who were into drugs and making money with with the drugs and stuff like that. So one group of guys was involved in a stolen car ring, and you know, these guys were like a separate group. Well, Richie was hanging out with them, but they kicked him out of the group because he was fucking with a sissy by the name of, I don't remember his name. I don't even remember it, but the sissy looked like a real girl, right? And he was like the premier sissy on the compound. And these guys didn't want Richie coming around because, you know, the fact that he was hanging out with that sissy made them look bad. You know, they didn't want that, stigma, if you will, because a lot of those guys don't, they don't see. They're older guys. They've never been to jail before, so anyway, they have a right to their opinion and everything. So they didn't want Richie hanging out with him anymore. But I used to play handball with them all the time, and I remember the head of the group, not the head, but like kind of the figurehead of the crew was named Vic Pcia. Okay, and everybody was telling me, Vic is a tough guy, and he's this and he's that, and he stabbed Mario in Terre Haute. Terre Haute's a maximum security prison, right? Uh, we're in a medium security prison. When did he stab this guy? Oh, he did it 2 years ago. Hmm. He stabbed a guy 2 years ago in a maximum security prison, and they sent him to a medium security prison. That didn't make sense to me. But I didn't ask a lot of questions, right? But there was animosity between Vic Pcia and the real mob guys over here, the ones that ate in their cell and had the food brought to them, and they were exclusive guys. You know what I mean? They were exclusive. So Vic would talk shit about them all the time. Oh, they're not real gangsters. They're paper gangsters. They're not. So I was like, there's an issue between these guys, right? There's an issue. I don't know what this issue is. What I found out is that Vic stabbed a guy named Mario, okay, in Terre Haute. Mario, it was known because this is in the law book, and they found out by looking at the law book, was cooperating with the government, and he was providing them with information against the mob guys, the real mob guys. And what happened was Vix was talking shit on the guy, calling him a snitch and everything. But he didn't really know the whole situation. All he knew was what he read in the law book. What had happened was Mario at first was cooperating because he thought he was about to get murdered. Okay? So they sent word to Mario through his own family and said, "What are you doing, Mario? Why are you working with the feds, man?" And Mario came back and said, "Well, I know these guys are going to kill me, and I need the protection of the fucking feds." So they sent word back and they said, "Mario, nobody's going to kill you, man. Nobody has any desire to hurt you, man. Why don't you just come to your senses, man, and stop working with the feds, and no, and everything will be fine, and bygones be bygones. Nobody's going to hurt you." So Mario changed his decision to cooperate. He stopped cooperating, and he received a prison sentence. I don't remember how long it was. It wasn't too damn long. Couldn't have been more than 10 years. And besides that, he had cancer. He wasn't an aggressive guy. He wasn't a big guy, but he was a money maker. You know, he was involved with all those Chicago gangsters, and they're all money makers. But he's not the killer. These guys are the killers, right? So he's scared of them. So he backed up and he decided, I'll take the prison sentence and I won't cooperate. And that's what he did. So one thing led to another, and Vic and him got into it. And first it was words, and then Vic stabbed him with, like, I don't know, a paper clip, maybe a duckbill scissors or something. Mario goes to protective custody. He stays there for 2 days, and he signs a John Wayne, which means that I absolve the prison of any responsibility. Uh, I'm not afraid for my life. I want to be in population with everybody else. So he comes back out in the general population, right? Which goes to show, you know, how tough could this, how tough could he, Vic be if, the guy wasn't even scared after getting stabbed. This guy's not even afraid to come back out. It must not be that serious, right? Anyway, uh, uh, when Mario comes back out, he finds this black guy and he hires the black guy to go in Vic's cell and beat the shit out of him, right? So that's what happens. The guy goes in, he beats the shit out of Vic, and he lumps him up real good, right? And that was the end of that. And anyway, they ended up sending Mario to another prison, and they sent Vic to Pekin, Illinois. And when he got there, he tried to become friends with Jimmy Marcello and Bobby Bellavia and Nicky Calabrese, and they told him, "Listen, man, we don't want anything to do with you. Just stay over there somewhere, please. Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing, dude. Because like the way they looked at it was, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You're involving yourself in our business. You don't know that this guy was testifying against us, and yet we talked him out of it. Okay, we changed him from being a rat into being a stand-up guy. Okay, and he took a prison sentence that he didn't have to take. He could have continued to cooperate, and he wouldn't have went to prison. But he stood up and he took his time like a man. But you don't know any of this because you're going about what somebody else told you that they read in a law book. What if that guy, what if Mario had gotten scared when you stabbed him? What if Mario had changed his mind when you stabbed him and decided to go back and cooperate with the feds? What would that have looked like? We'd all be indicted on some more shit, okay? Because the guy knows a lot of stuff, but he holds his mud. He holds his mud from he's not gonna go against us. And who are you to stick your nose in our business and hurt this guy when it has nothing to do with you whatsoever? Stay the fuck away from us. Don't even come around us. We don't want you around us. We don't, So Vic was butthurt. He was butthurt about this. He felt like these people weren't treating him and giving him the respect that he was due. Vic was 50 years old before he ever spent a day in prison. You know what I'm saying? He really doesn't. He doesn't look at life the way I look at life. I spent my whole life. I went there when I was a kid, and I grew up in prison. He didn't really have that. He thought he was doing something tough. But that's not tough. When you stab somebody, they come back out of the fucking PC in 2 days. Well, what did you really do? It was a pussy move you made. And look, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. You're not that tough, you know. And then you had the guy beat you up. That's crazy, man. You know, uh, don't ever walk around here pretending you're tough, you know, because you're nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. And I didn't find all this out until Nikki Calabrese went into the witness protection program. Like I told you just the other day when I was telling the story, uh, one of the things they did was they locked up uh, Vic Pcia. Because what was Vic doing? As soon as Vic found out he was out there talking to the FBI, Vic was running around talking shit. Yeah, that guy's a rat. He's talking to the FBI. He's this, he's that. Hey, man, still talking about other people's business, man. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah, he was a rat. Yeah, he was. That's right. You know, and he took a lot of people down. That's one of the key players in that family secrets trial. Uh, and you know, his testimony buried the hierarchy of the Chicago outfit, but still, it's none of his fucking business. You see what I'm saying? Uh, so he got himself put into the segregation unit, and until after Nikki went into the protection program, and not that he was going to do anything to Nikki anyway. What was he going to do? Stab him with a paper clip? You know what I mean? A duck-bill scissor, maybe? Right? But that's when I realized, man, like, no wonder these fucking people don't want anything to do with you, you fucking idiot. He's calling these guys paper gangsters. He doesn't know what's going on. The indictment with these guys, there was like, I don't know, 15 homicides going back 20 years, bodies buried all over Chicago. Uh, I mean, the Spilaccio murders were the premier fucking murders in that indictment. A movie was made about that, you know. These are the real guys. These guys. Not you, Vic. You're just a guy who's running around trying to pretend something. You know what I mean? So it's just a story, man. You know what I mean? Just a story. He was trying to be kicking my little buddy to the curb because he was fucking with that sissy. You know what I'm saying? My buddy just went back to prison again about 6 months ago. He had gotten out from the first case. He did about 12 years. He got out in like, I don't know, 2011, something like that. And he just went back again. This time he's got about 11 years to do now. He'll be out by the time he's 70. He's got a new case for cocaine. And he just got sent away about a couple of months ago. But, I feel, I didn't like the way he treated the kid. That's basically the bottom line. He acted like he was better than everybody, like he was a tough guy. He's not better than anybody. He's no tough guy, trust me. The tough guys were the guys that he was pointing at and calling vapor gangsters and stuff. Those are the real tough guys.